Hello, my name is Chris Peck. You're watching Austin Underground. We're here with Ligula. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, I really hope I am. And they're playing here at South by Southwest. How you guys feeling today?
Well, we're feeling pretty privileged to be here. It's actually our first international tour, and we're playing here and in New York, a few gigs. So yeah, quite chuffed to be here, really.
Well, going off that, so how are shows different here in the States compared to like Europe and other places that you guys been?
Well, actually, our showcases are not starting until tomorrow. That we're doing 2 of them. But mostly we'll do a similar set. The only problem is the logistics. We just don't have our instruments here. But in terms of differences, we can't tell you because we haven't started yet.
Well, I look forward to seeing you guys then. So one thing I want to talk about is, since you guys have so many members in your group, do you find it challenging to write music when you have so many different instruments and different members and make sure there's parts for everybody?
Well, it's a bit of a challenge, but we're all friends at the same time, so it's a collective effort. Everything starts from a song that Nacho, who is the composer, makes with some chords in the guitar, and then we start to evolve the idea of the song towards different directions with adding different arrangements and stuff until we make sort of like we look at the big picture of the thing, but always keeping the core of the song, which initially started only with a few chords. But yeah, it is always a challenge because 7 people are quite a few. But I think we're all mostly aligned in the idea that everything should work towards making the song bigger and expressing exactly what it should express. So yeah.
I want to talk about one of my favorite songs you guys do. It's called "Funeral." Can you talk not only about the meaning of can you talk a little about the meaning of that song and kind of the orchestration behind it?
Well, although one might think that song portrays some negative meaning, it's actually quite the opposite. It's a bit like opening up from a state in which you are a little more down towards like opening spaces and landscapes and it aims to have a positive meaning after all, but not coming from an overly happy unconscious perspective, but from a conscious perspective, from having been in a situation where you're not that happy, but then coming up and racing again with a different feeling of recovery.
Now, one of the aspects of that song is near the beginning. There's kind of almost like a chugging, like marching, kind of like in the background. Can you talk about like how you guys developed that sound, why was that important to create the atmosphere of this track?
We can talk about influences, for example, because in the band, of course, there's many different people that listen to quite a large diversity of music, but mostly we stem from American music, mostly from Wilco, for example, who is one of our biggest influences. But then also taking bits and bobs from British music, like Radiohead, for example. So the idea of making these gloomy atmospheres might come more from the British side of things, but also with a root that is actually more based on American music. That's mostly what I can say there about that. Yeah.
And then, now you guys are from Spain, obviously. Now, was there a choice, or what was the decision? Because you guys sing in English. Was there a choice to want to do that, or was it always just felt natural, or kind of what was the process behind doing that?
Well, this might seem weird to people from the States, that actually other people from other nationalities who don't really speak English as their mother tongue tend to sing in English, but I think it also goes back to the references that we listen to, and it actually, surprisingly enough, it comes as natural that you start singing in English, and progressively developing a sort of like getting rid of this shame that sometimes we have about not singing in English and going into Spanish, for example. That now we have a couple of songs in Spanish, but it tends to be that the path towards singing in your mother tongue when you're doing sort of rock music is at least like that. You start in English and then you go and do some songs in your mother tongue when you're confident enough. So.
All right, thank you. And then, obviously, I think your last album, correct me if I'm mistaken, came out in 2015. And so, is new music on the way? How are you guys developing that? When can we expect some new music from you guys?
Yeah, we are in the process of developing of making a new album now, which we already mostly develop the ideas around it, and we're going to record it within the next few months. So it should be released in the fall. So yeah, we're looking forward to that as well, because we've been touring with Distance Test for now 2 years. So it's about time for new songs to come and see the light, and hopefully the light of the States, if you invite us to play here again.
Well, as the United States of America, I cordially invite you guys to come here all the time. Okay, for any updates on their new record and some of their older music, make sure to check out Ligula on Spotify and all their various social medias. And to stay up to date, everything on South by Southwest, make sure to follow Austin Underground on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and everything else. Thank you so much again. I'm Peck. This is Ligula, and we're out here at South by Southwest. Check us out next time.